My name is Jayne Jones. I'm America's No Sugar Baker. By the luck of God, as I like to say, I found Swerve at the grocery store in January. I was basically someone after getting sick and diagnosed as severely diabetic. Everybody kept telling me I just had to get through the holidays. You just have to get through the holidays, Jayne. You just have to get through the holidays, holidays. So I always like to say now I spent my first holiday season kind of sitting on the sidelines. Didn't really know what I was going to do or how miserable it was going to be for me. I thank my parents for trying to adapt and make different recipes. But I found myself in January at my local grocery store, said a prayer, and by the luck of God, as I like to say, I found Swerve just on the aisle, had no idea what it was, picked it up and gave it a shot. And, you know, I was scared to death of trying it because I didn't know if it was going to raise my glucose level, or my eyesight was going to get blurry and go again, or if it was going to be good. Or my favorite quote of the day is, I didn't know if it was going to taste like crap, Emily, or if it was actually going to taste really good and be a hit. I made my very first recipe and I brought it over to my parents' house, and I didn't really tell anybody what I was doing because I was trying to modify and try to do different things, and wasn't sure if I was going to fail or if it was going to be okay. I didn't try it because I was kind of afraid of like what could possibly taste good without sugar. And I made it for my parents. They absolutely, they started to cry, believe it or not. And they said, we've been waiting for that energy back ever since the day you got sick. And that came back. And so I went home and they called me or texted me right after saying that how much they loved it. And from that point on, that was kind of like the inspiration, kind of the enthusiasm to continue to make recipes and to really say, okay, you know what? You can live back in your kitchen again. You can make good, healthy food. It can taste good. And so thankfully now the No Sugar Baker has a great partnership with Swerve. They reached out to me after seeing a couple of interviews and said, hey, look, we think you're wonderful. We think you're great what you're doing. And we really like the message of being a diabetic. And I don't know if you know this, but November is Diabetes Awareness Month. And I think that in some ways I'm the poster child of what it's like to live with diabetes. I think about it every single day. And so I'm just really excited to be here. We got 3 great recipes for you today. And here's my favorite part of all these recipes. You know what? It's not stuff you can't find in your everyday grocery store or in your pantry. It's easy stuff. And you know what? It tastes good. Even though November is Diabetes Awareness Month, I like to call November Pie Month. One of my very favorite bloggers is Cooking with Kitty. If you haven't checked her out, you should check her out because they're making a pie, sugar-based pie, every single week. Because you think of Thanksgiving, you think of pie season. And one of my very favorite pies of all time is banana cream pie. Well, before I got sick, I had no idea that bananas were full of sugar. I had no clue. In fact, right before I was kind of going between doctors, I actually was eating a banana thinking I was doing the right choice for myself. Well, turns out I was making probably the foolest decision I could possibly ever make. So I used to love banana cream pie. So I told myself there had to be a way to make a good banana cream pie. Well, I tested it out on my husband, the hubs, as you all like to say and call him, tested it on the hubs, and he's like, you know what, this is actually darn good. So we're gonna do that recipe today. One of them we're gonna make. We're gonna start with this one. It's easy, and I like it because you don't need the big old mixer out too. You can just do it. Now there's 2 different ways you can make the crust. So I know that some people really enjoy like a cocoa-based crust, especially like a chocolate with banana cream sauce. So this is that one. You can find the recipe at nosugarbaker.com for the cocoa-based crust, which is cocoa, almond flour, a butter, and a little bit of Swerve granular. As you know, Swerve comes in 3 different types. Swerve, which is the granular, which is kind of based on like measures regular sugar. Confectioners, which is kind of like a powdered sugar type, the measures equal, and also the brown. So I happen to use for the crust recipe the Swerve granular, and then I also make a crust recipe that's at www.nosugarbaker.com, which is almond flour, butter, and then the Swerve granular to make the crust. So now the best part, the filling part of the pie. So what you're gonna do, and again, here's a tip. I used 8 ounces of a whipped cream cheese. So it's already whipped, it's already light and fluffy for you, friends. It's so easy. And then you add in 1 package of sugar-free cheesecake flavored pudding mix. It's out there. Make sure you go and find it, buy it, along with, I had to learn this lesson the hard way, a half a cup of unsweetened almond milk. I don't use milk anymore because milk is full of sugar. So go ahead and you mix those 2, cream those 2 together. And then you're going to add in the Swerve confectioners. Now this gives it kind of that, the richness and adds to that creaminess of flavor. So you just go ahead and pour that right on in. Then here comes a little bit of vanilla. As I like to say, always, I don't care how much vanilla you use as much as you prefer. And now here's a secret ingredient that I never knew existed. This is what replaces the bananas. There's absolutely no bananas in this recipe at all, except for you're going to take about 1 tablespoon of banana extract. Okay, banana extract you find it at your grocery store. And let me tell you, just by putting 1 tablespoon in, you can actually smell it. Can you smell it on the screen? You can smell the smell of the banana flavoring. It is so fantastic. You just go ahead and mix those together so nice and smooth. And then I did do this ahead of time. It is 2 cups of heavy whipping cream whipped together. I mix it with the Swerve confectioners along with probably about a tablespoon of butter. I'm just going to go and fold that right in to bowl. And then you mix it again together. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to pour it right into your crust. You can pour it into the cocoa-based crust or the other crust. You just go ahead and pour it. I'll show it to you in a second. You make it nice and even. Just like so. It's so easy. Fill it right to the brim. Fill it right to the brim. You see that? Fill it right to the brim. And then you can take your extra heavy whipping cream and top it. I topped it right here, right here. I'm going to lift this one up a little bit so you can see it better. So you can see it right there. Now, it looks sort of pale in color because you're not using any real bananas, right? So I didn't do it this time, but you probably could just take a dab of yellow food coloring, put a dot into the batter with you and mix it together. Refrigerate it overnight. I topped it right away with my heavy whipping cream. You can wait till the next day. Let me tell you, it is fantastic and so easy to do. And you can make it on Thanksgiving, but don't tell anybody it's sugar-free. Let them have their second piece and then let them guess as to what it is. So that's a great recipe. You can even get the cocoa crust recipe at sugarbaker.com too, or no, Emily's posting it inside of the posts. Okay, now this next recipe, I'm gonna take this out of the way for a second, the pie. Move it over here because this next recipe is fun and it's fun for kids. And I like this because, you know what, I found out this summer, kids were emailing me and say, hey, look, we like your recipes. A bunch of us have type 1 juvenile diabetes. So like kind of like we get stuck. And I understand what it's like, especially during party season, during the holidays, to go to a party and be like, what in the world is it going to be for me to be? Now you can make this one and bring it to a party along with the pie, and your guests or your fellow guests at parties, they're gonna love it too because it's so great. So here's what you're gonna do. We're getting fancy. You're gonna grab yourself a paper bag. I just cut mine off. So I love this recipe. I absolutely think it's a hoot. Now, I know there's some little bit of controversy about popcorn. Well, listen to this. I happen to find this popcorn at my grocery store. It's called Light and Fit. The serving size is almost 4 cups. And it has no sugar and about 16 grams of total carbohydrates. So you don't have to eat all 4 cups, right? Is my point. So you just do 1 cup. You're going to take the bag of popcorn. You're going to open it up. You're just going to dump it right into the paper bag. Then you're going to take about a tablespoon of melted butter and pour it right on top. Now, here comes the fun. I can't even believe this. So I took the Swerve yellow cake mix. Have you seen the cake mixes yet at the grocery store? They're fantastic. They don't really make a huge cake. They make a nice size portion of cake. So I take the yellow cake mix and I'm just going to take probably a good handful. That's how I measure here. A good handful of just the plain old cake mix. And you're going to sprinkle it right into the bag, right on top of everything. Actually, just to shake it up, I'm actually going to do 2 handfuls of it right on top of it. Then I took and melted a cup of Lily's white chocolate chips. If you were around the blog last Christmas, you knew I was like, can somebody please make a sugar-free white chocolate chip? Well, Lily's answered the call, and you guys have been sending me some, so it's fantastic. So I took the Lily's white chocolate, melted it ahead of time, and I'm going to take and I'm going to pour about half of it into the bag. Okay. Then get the kids out because you're going to fold it up. And you're just going to give it a good old shake, okay? I know, this is like high-speed culinary skills here. This is like, we are cruising to the top. So you're just going to shake it up. Then you're going to take and you're going to move my tray out of the way here. Some of you guys will recognize I bought this at a garage sale. It was a good buy, boy. Push it down. Then you're just going to take and have wax paper, and you're going to go ahead and just take and pour out popcorn right into the wax paper. Spread it out. Make sure you get all that white chocolate. Looks good in the bag too, by the way. And I'm gonna actually take the leftover white chocolate that's already been melted and just drizzle it on top of the drying popcorn. Now, I'm also gonna take, I found these at my store. You can find them too. I think they actually have the very popular retailers. Sugar-free sprinkles. I looked, they exist, they're fantastic. So I'm just gonna sprinkle the sprinkles right on top, make that popcorn dance. Wait till I flip this up and show this to you. Add a little bit more. Kids are gonna love it. You could probably, I'm guessing, you could probably find red and green for the holidays. Sprinkles that are sugar-free right too. Can we get a picture of that? You let it dry. I let mine dry overnight for about 8 hours. And you pull it apart, store it in plastic bags. And let me tell you, just have a cup of it. It brings out the sweet and the savory together. Plus, it's fun. It is downright fun and great. Okay, we're cruising right along. Make sure you enter to win the Swerve package. What are we giving away, Emily? We're giving away, I think, some cake mixes, some No Sugar Baker cookbooks. So make sure there's gonna be a post where you can enter. Make sure you do that. Now, here's the last recipe, and here's how this one came to be. My husband said to me, okay, it's wonderful and great that you're making all these recipes, but my very favorite recipe of all time is the monster cookie. Can you please try to make the No Sugar Baker monster cookie? And I was like, not a chance. It's not gonna work. No way, no how. Well, guess what, friends? Here it is, right here. It happens now to be my very favorite cookie. It is great, it is wonderful. You're gonna love it. And it's so fun to make. You're gonna take a half a cup of butter, 1.5 cups of all natural peanut butter. Trust me, I learned this one the hard way. I thought I could just go to the popular brand of peanut butters, and they're full of sugar. So now I just do a all natural, fresh peanut butter. My parents now are even just buying all natural peanut butter because it's the healthy way to go, where it literally is just crushed peanuts. So 1.5 cups of that, 3 whole eggs. I wish you could see this, but again, you don't need your mixer out for this one. And then it's, go ahead and mix those together. This is just like you would make a regular cookie dough. And then you're gonna add in 1 cup of the Swerve granular, 1 cup of Swerve brown, and I swear to you, when you put that Swerve brown into it, that's what make those cookies dance. It is the best. 1 cup of Swerve granular, 1 cup of Swerve brown. Go ahead and cream them together. You want to add in a little bit of vanilla, of course. And again, your choice when it comes to how much vanilla. I'm just gonna put a dash of it because there's a lot of flavor in these cookies. So a dash of vanilla this time. And then over here, I actually have figured out there's now a wheat flavored almond flour. Have you tried it yet? This is what I made the other cookies out of that are up here that I just made today. I love it. I love it. I love it. So it's 2 cups. I happen to use the wheat flavored almond flour along with baking soda and baking powder and some salt. Mix those together. This is where you can really use a mixer. And then you're going to add in 1.5 cups of a quick oats. Now again, this is going to make about 24 cookies. So when you divide it all out, you're going to see that it's not that high in carbohydrates. And then you're going to add in about 1.5 cups of Lily dark chocolate chips. And then friends, look what was sent to us. It is a mimic or a generic candied sugar-free sort of candy that you'd find in monster cookies. You can find them on the internet. I happen to see the Jackie's chocolates out of Wisconsin was sent to us. Tastes great. Pour them together, roll the balls, bake it at 350 for about 10 minutes. This is the end result you're gonna get. It's going to be an absolute treat for your family and for everybody. And you can find all these recipes at nosugarbaker.com. If anybody has any questions, you can ask them right now in the chat. And make sure you enter the contest for those Swerve products along with the No Sugar Baker cookbook. And we wish you all the best during the holiday season.
So what does your husband think of the cookies now?
Oh, but you know what? I think this says it all. I've made these cookies probably every single week since. So I think that kind of says it all. That says it. And I freeze about half of every one we make. So he's always like, got any more of those monster cookies? So yeah, so I think we hit a grand slam.
Nice. We have a question in the chat. How do you figure out the servings in your dishes, the serving size? And the serving amount?
That's a great question. I tend to try to make portion size smaller, and I've learned the lesson that once I start posting like recipe serving sizes, that I get a lot more questions than I actually battle for. So I tend not to post how many servings it is because it's based on what your serving size should be. But know that the monster cookies is about 1.5 dozen. What else did we make today? The pie is a good size pie, so you could probably have a half a sliver, so to speak, of a piece of pie if you want to. And then the popcorn makes, well, it was 1 full bag, so that probably makes about 6 to 8 cups of popcorn.
You said you don't really need to eat a lot of the popcorn though to get the.
No. You probably listen. That popcorn's got a bunch of sweet to it, so about I actually just like a little bit of it because I think it goes a long ways. It just kind of gives you that little treat of, not that you're missing out on anything, because I really don't think I'm missing out on much anymore in life, but it does give you that little bit of a little bit of a spark and treat. And you know what? Bring it to a party. Put it into a bowl. Bring it to a party. People are gonna love it.
We have never sprinkled the cake mix on top of popcorn, so I'm excited to try
it. It's good. And in a weird way, it's almost kind of addicting. It's kind of tasty. You'll love it. Trust me, you'll love it. And your kids will like it too. And that really kind of me is that home run hit. I know this summer we made some popsicles and some ice cream sandwiches, and the kids really were thankful. And moms and grandmas were really thankful too that, you know what, because it's such a struggle. I can only imagine what it's like being diagnosed as a little one with type 1.
Yeah, especially for the holidays.
Yeah, the cake mix, I saw the question about what kind of cake mix it is. It is the Swerve yellow mix. I just threw the box down. Let me see if I can find where I put it. Oh, right here. It is the Swerve Sweets. Have you not tried these yet? So I think this is what you're registering to win in the contest. It's the Swerve yellow cake mix. Let's see, there's a chocolate cake mix out there. There's the cookie cake mix, the cookie chocolate chip cookie dough. There's the pancakes and waffles that my parents think that they're the best mix ever created on earth. And yeah, this is actually what I use when I make the bun cakes too. Is this box? So it's really great.
And what was the wheat flavored almond flour that you used?
Oh, it's I think it's a brand new product. So I found it because I normally use almond flour straight, but I found a wheat high protein almond flour by King Arthur, and that's what I used for the last batch of the monster cookies I made for the hugs. And I was kind of expecting him to, he's in another room right now. I was kind of expecting him to say like, did you do something different with those monster cookies? Like, why do they not taste the same way as the other monster cookies? He didn't even know. Couldn't even tell. So yeah, so I snuck in that wheat flavored almond flour, which happens to be a King Arthur brand, but I'm going to keep buying it because it really was great. And I had that kind of experiment with almond flours because I wasn't quite sure when I had to make the big transition, so to speak, right? I didn't know about the different grains, and I really had to do it.
Yeah, that's a good find. King Arthur is always coming out with super innovative products to use in baking.
Right. Yeah. It was good. It was a genius of a find, actually. Almost as good as the White Lily sugar-free chocolate chips. That was like the answer to my holiday baking life.
I think they made those just for you, Jayne.
I think they did. They usually have a pumpkin spice variety. Some actually No Sugar Baker fan sent me a package of the sugar-free pumpkin spice chips. I haven't figured out yet how to use them really well, so we got to figure out a good recipe for that. We got to work on that one, Emily.
Yeah, we do. I'm counting on you for that. All right. Well, thanks so much for sharing your recipes.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. And you know what? Make sure you go on and make sure you register to win the prizes. The prizes are great. We'll obviously throw in a couple of cookbooks this round, and we just thank everybody for joining us. We hope, let's do maybe just around Christmas too, because we got some great really Christmas recipes. I know today I did an interview with Nashville. We did the No Sugar Baker peppermint pie, and it just made me start thinking again about, oh my gosh, what it's like during the real holiday season.
Yeah, maybe we can do another one of these before the end of the year. That would be great. Okay, thanks so much, Jayne. And I will be sure to share the recording with you as well.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Really appreciate it. Make sure you make it a great day. And thanks, everybody. Have a good day.